Ready? Welcome, dear students. In the previous posting, I had told you that we have completed the literature in English syllabus, and I have started postings on language. But let me tell you that postings in language will continue till the next 2 months, till your final examination in December. But whenever I have a video class like this, I will be doing certain portions of class 11 which I think is important for your board examination, and therefore we will be doing a revision. Some short stories, 1 or 2 poems, and basically the Tempest. So today we will be starting with an important revision of a story which has not come in ISC but is likely to come in 2021. Fids by Satyajit Ray. First of all, let me tell you that this was a story originally written in Bengali, and therefore the one that we are going to read will be a translation of it into English. This is something you will have to remember first. The second thing, an introduction to the story. You all know that this is a story dealing with the supernatural. Something happens in the end. Something happens or is claimed to have happened in the middle of the story which logic or reason cannot explain. That is why this is a story on supernaturalism. Now let us see what basically is happening in the story before we actually start the story line by line. Imagine 2 childhood friends, Jayanto and the narrator of the story, Shankar. They have come to visit the small town of Bundi, a historical place in Rajasthan. Actually, Jayanto had insisted that they come to Rajasthan, to this place called Bundi. Initially, the narrator Shankar did not know why Jayanto was insisting on going to Bundi. But when they were traveling in the train, Jayanto told the narrator that he had wanted to visit Bundi because he had been to Bundi when he was 6 years old. His father worked in the archaeological department. Therefore, the father had to move from one historical place to another. And when Jayanto was 6, they had come to Bundi and stayed at Bundi for quite some time. Jayanto always had a desire or a wish to revisit Bundi because he wanted to see how different Bundi was now from what he had seen when he was a child. Accordingly, he had insisted on coming to Bundi. Now, the first thing you will have to remember about this story is the story begins when the two have already come to Bundi. They are staying at the circuit house at Bundi. This is the very circuit house where Jayanto and his father and mother had stayed 31 years back when Jayanto was 6 years old. But the narrator Shankar had noticed one thing, that from the moment they had come to Bundi, there had been quite a change in the attitude, behavior, and nature of Jayanto. He had become very quiet, meditative, thoughtful, moody, and his mind seemed to be preoccupied all the time, thinking about something else. Obviously, Initially, the narrator wasn't much worried, believing that old memories were coming back to the mind of Jayanto. But slowly, his worry and concern started growing because Jayanto started behaving unnaturally, a bit abnormally, and he started claiming things to have happened which was not very believable for the narrator Shankar. So the story begins when the two had already reached Bundi. After having stared at Jayanto for a whole minute, I could not help asking him, "Are you well? You seem to be in low spirits today." I told you, the narrator Jayanto had observed the change the narrator Shankar had observed the change in Jayanto. So after looking at Jayanto for a whole minute at the circuit house, the narrator, that is I, that is Shankar, he could not stop himself from asking the question, "Jayanto, are you feeling well? You seem to be depressed and dejected today. You are in very low spirits. What is the matter with you?" Jayanto quickly lost his slightly preoccupied air. When Shankar started the conversation with Jayanto, Jayanto suddenly, as if came back to his senses. He appeared to be busy and preoccupied. That appearance faded and disappeared, gave me a boyish smile and said, "No, on the contrary, I am feeling a lot better. This place is truly wonderful." Jayanto gave Shankar, the narrator, a childish, innocent smile and said, No, it's just the opposite. Rather than feeling sad and dejected and depressed, it is that I am feeling much better. I'm happy, I'm joyful, I'm satisfied because I have come to a place which I had always wanted to visit, and this place is wonderful. We will later realize that Jayanto wasn't speaking the truth. "You have been here before. Didn't you know how good it was?" Shankar said, "You had come to Bundi 31 years back. Didn't you know how beautiful and wonderful this place is?" "I had nearly forgotten," Jayanto sighed. Jayanto took a deep breath and said, "Look here, I had forgotten about Bundi and how it looked because I had come here 31 years back. My memory doesn't remember what I had seen at that time. Now, some of my memories are coming back slowly. Now, after coming to this place, the old memories are coming back to my mind one after another. The bungalow certainly appears unchanged. The bungalow is that circuit house where they were staying or where they had put up. Remember, I told you 31 years back, Jayanto and his father and mother had stayed in the same circuit house, and he felt that the circuit house had not changed much. I can even recognize some of the old furniture, such as these cane chairs and tables. He said, I can even recognize some of the furniture which are there now, which were there 31 years back, like these chairs and tables made of bamboo cane. They are here now. They were here 31 years back. The bearer came in with tea and biscuits on a tray. It's called the orderly or the servant. Or the servant, he came with a tray with tea and biscuits. I poured, the narrator poured tea. When did you come here last? When did you come to Bundi last? 31 years ago. I was 6 then. I had come to Bundi 31 years back and I was 6 years old at that time. We were sitting in the garden of the circuit house in Bundi. I had told you they were put up in the circuit house. They were seated in the garden of that circuit house. We had arrived only that morning. They had come to Bundi that morning only. Jayanto and I were old friends. In fact, they were childhood friends. We had gone to the same school and college. They had studied in the same school and college. He now worked in the editorial division of a newspaper, and I taught in a school. Jayanto was employed in the editorial division of a newspaper, and the narrator Shankar worked as a school teacher. Although we had different kinds of jobs, it had not made any difference to our friendship. Professionally, they were now in two different worlds, one in the newspaper office, the other working in a school. Though their professions were different, it had not impacted, it had not affected their deep bond of friendship anyway. Still, they were the closest of friends. We had been planning a trip to Rajasthan for quite some time. The two friends had been planning to come to Rajasthan for quite a long time. The main difficulty lay in both of us being able to get away together. Obviously, the main difficulty was that both were not getting leave or the opportunity to go to Bundi together. That had at last been made possible. Finally, they had found the time, they had got the leave together to travel to Bundi together. Most people go to Jaipur, Udaipur or Chittor when they go to Rajasthan, but Jayanto kept talking about going to Bundi. Whenever people plan to go to Rajasthan, they obviously would like to visit the famous historical places, Jaipur, Udaipur, Chittor, Bikaner, Jaisalmer. Very few come to Bundi. But when they were planning to come to Bundi, Jayanto had insisted, he had put pressure on the narrator Shankar that they go to Bundi, but he had not mentioned the reason at that time. I had no objection, for having read Tagore's poem, The Fort of Bundi. I was certainly familiar with the name of the place and felt a pleasurable excitement at the prospect of actually seeing the fort. The narrator had no objection to going to Bundi. In fact, he knew the name of Bundi. He had read a famous poem by Rabindranath Tagore about the fort of Bundi. Since he was familiar with the name of Bundi, he also had no objection to coming to Bundi. In fact, he felt excited. It was a pleasure for him to visit the place about which he had read in the poem of Rabindranath Tagore. And he was very, very happy that he will be able to see with his own eyes a place and a fort about which he had only read about. Not many people came to Bundi, but that did not mean that there was not much to see there. Not too many people or tourists came to Bundi, but that doesn't mean that Bundi was not a beautiful or a good place. That doesn't mean there was nothing to see at Bundi. It could be that from the point of view of a historian, Udaipur, Jodhpur and Chittor had a lot more to offer, but simply as a beautiful place, Bundi was perfect. If you were interested in history, you would go to Jaipur, Udaipur, Chittor, Bikaner, Jaisalmer. But if you wanted to visit a place of beauty, Bundi would be a perfect choice because Bundi was really, really beautiful. It may not be historically as famous as the other towns and cities of Rajasthan, but as far as beauty was concerned, nothing could surpass the beauty of this small town, Bundi. However, Jayanto's insistence on Bundi did puzzle me somewhat. The narrator Shankar in the beginning was a bit puzzled, confused, surprised as to why Jayanto was insisting to go to Bundi. I learned the reason on the train when we were coming down. He only came to know the reason when they were traveling by train to Bundi. He came to know that Jayanto wanted to visit Bundi because he had already visited this place at the age of 6, 31 years back. Jayanto's father, Animesh Dasgupta, had worked in the archaeological department. You have heard of the Archaeological Survey of India? They carry out diggings and excavations. They are responsible for maintaining historical forts and monuments. Jayanto's father worked in this department. His work sometimes took him to historical places, and Jayanto had as a child come to Bundi. I told you, an archaeologist moves from place to place, famous historical places where diggings, excavations, preservations are carried out. And accordingly, the family had come to Bundi. Jayanto had come to Bundi as a child 31 years back. He had always wanted to return after growing up just to see how much the modern Bundi compared to the image he had in his mind. Imagine, as he grew up, Jayanto had always wanted to come to Bundi again. He wanted to see how much this old city had changed and become modern. He wanted to make a comparison between what Bundi was 31 years back and what Bundi is today. The circuit house was really rather splendid. It was a beautiful place to stay. Built during the time of the British, it must have been at least 100 years old. It was built during the time of the Britishers. It was almost 100 years old. It was a single-storied building with a sloping tiled roof. It was single-storied, only the ground floor was there. The roof was sloping and tiled, which was an archaeological feature during the times of the Britishers. The rooms had high ceilings and the skylights had long dangling ropes which could be pulled to open and shut them. The rooms were huge. The height was obviously bigger than what it is today. The ceilings were very, very high, and on the ceilings there were skylights, porous, transparent areas of the ceiling through which sunlight could enter the room and brighten it up. From those skylights hung ropes. By means of that rope, you could pull to shut the skylight or push to open the skylight. The veranda faced the east. The veranda of the circuit house was facing the east side. Right opposite it was a huge garden with a large number of roses in full bloom. Just opposite the veranda was a huge garden of the circuit house, and at present, when they had come to Bundi, rose flowers were blooming in that garden. Behind these were a lot of trees. Where the rose plants ended, there were plenty of trees. That was the border of the garden, which obviously housed a vast section of local birds. Obviously, on the branches of these trees, there were nests where lived the local varieties of birds. Parrots could be seen everywhere, and peacocks could be heard, but only outside the compound. Parrots were very common, they were everywhere. Peacocks could be heard from outside, but that was outside the compound of the circuit house, not in the garden. We had already been on a sightseeing tour of the town. On that day, they had gone to see the town properly. The famous fort of Bundi was placed amidst the hills. The historical fort of Bundi, a famous fort in India, was located or situated in the middle of hills. We had seen it from a distance that day, but decided to go back to take a closer look. On that day, they had seen the fort of Bundi from a distance, but they planned to go the next day to actually visit the fort of Bundi and have a closer look. The only reminders of modern times were the electric poles. Bundi had not changed much in the 31 years. The only change was that electric poles or posts were visible. Otherwise, it seemed as though we were back in old Rajputana. If you looked at the town of Bundi, you felt that it was not in the 20th century that you were living. You had gone back to the days of the Rajputs, the 16th, 17th, 18th centuries, when this area of Rajasthan was infested with the Rajputs and was called the Rajputana. The streets were cobbled. The streets were not paved with pitch or tar. They had small pebbles or stones. The houses had balconies jutting out from the first floor. The houses had balconies hanging out of the first floor. The carvings done on these and the wooden doors bore evidence of the work of master craftsmen. When you looked at the railings of the balconies made of wood, when you looked at the carvings on the huge doors of the houses, they were so very beautiful and exquisite that they carried proof of the fact what great master craftsmen they were in Bundi in those days. It was difficult to believe we were living in the age of machines. Once you were in Bundi, you were surrounded by primitiveness. Nothing much had undergone modernization. And you felt you were no longer living in the 20th century, the age of machines. I noticed Jayanto had turned rather quiet after arriving in Bundi. I had mentioned this in the beginning, that there had been a change in Jayanto after his arrival to Bundi. He had become very quiet, meditative, pensive, thoughtful. Perhaps some of his memories had returned. I told you, Shankar did not take this change very seriously in the beginning, thinking that memories of his first visit were coming back, so he was thoughtful. It is easy enough to feel a little depressed when visiting a place one may have seen as a child. You know, sometimes when you visit a place for the second time after a long gap, you are not very happy. You feel a bit depressed. You had a certain picture of that place in mind. You were imagining what changes that could take place and the city or the town would become modern. But when you actually visit that place, either you see no changes, it has remained the same, or it has undergone such a change that the image that you had of that place, it doesn't match with what you see. Besides, Jayanto was certainly more emotional than most people. Jayanto was not a pragmatic, practical, rational person. He was sentimental, emotional. He was a man with deep feelings. That is why probably he was not very comfortable with what he was seeing, because what he saw probably had no match with what he had seen as a 6-year-old 31 years back. Everyone knew that. Everybody knew Jayanto was sentimental, emotional, a man with deep feelings, and such people are very touchy. Small changes make a big impact on these people. So Shankar did not take the matter very seriously in the beginning, believing that Jayanto was getting used to the changes that he was saying, or he was getting used to the surprises that awaited him because of the difference in the image of what he had seen and what he was seeing. So initially we see Shankar not taking the matter of this change in Jayanto very, very seriously. But this is soon going to change, because something out of the blue, something impossible, something irrational, something which is illogical will be claimed to have happened by Jayanto. Thank you.